and most talked about dating show in the world is back.
Let's go.
These games have the claws coming out.
Two-Face, I would say.
What?
I would not want to be called that.
It's way more intense than I was expecting.
Sneaking behind my back gives small dick energy.
Just so you know, tonight, I'm probably going to kiss it again. Love Island Games!
Hello everyone, welcome to this little corner of the internet. If you're new, well, hello, my name is Anishna and thank you so much for tuning in. It's really great to have you. And if you're coming back and returning, maybe from a previous video I just posted, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming back and being part of this family. If you're wondering why I'm dressed up like this today, well, I've got my beach cover up on, got my bikini on, got my sunnies on, because we are going to be talking about the one, the only... The British reality TV show Love Island tosses young, hot, sexy singles into a tropical villa, challenging them to couple up, face romantic twists, and ultimately find love, or risk getting dumped from paradise. To win Love Island, contestants must win the favor of not only their fellow islanders, but the hearts of the public, as the public also help to decide the contestants' fate. And winners of the show not only find love, but also win £50,000 in a cash prize. The show as we know it began in June of 2015, but it's actually a revival of an earlier celebrity series that was titled the same thing, which aired briefly in the early 2000s. Love Island shot to fame after the second and third season, becoming ITV2's most watched show in the network's history during season 4 in 2018. I really need y'all to understand just how popular this TV show was. It really became a cultural phenomenon, with 3.4 million people tuning into the final of season 5 in 2019. In taking social media by storm, Love Island turned ordinary singles into household names, as well as coveted brand ambassadors, which catapulted them not only into the world of influencing, but even mainstream fame, where they were gracing the covers of our magazines, as well as our Instagram feeds on a daily basis. Love Island, while granting fame and stardom to its contestants, also did actually work as a matchmaker, creating enduring relationships that actually outlasted the cameras. Particularly from the older seasons, the show has really resulted in numerous success stories, with couples forming authentic connections that are still actually thriving today. Even among the show's many controversies, tragedies, and bad press, the show still remains a cornerstone of British pop culture, and even beyond that, as it spawned 22 international versions. However, in the last few years, Love Island, along with other really famous and well-loved reality TV shows, is no longer the crown jewel of reality TV that it once was. Love Island's viewership has been rapidly declining, with the show drastically falling out of favor with its fans. This is due to a number of reasons, such as the show's overexposure, as there's now multiple seasons a year, its predictable format after almost 10 years of airing, its notoriety, failure to evolve over time, choice of contestants that lack authenticity, and finally, its overproduction. It's fair to say that people are kind of slowly falling out of love with Love Island. Enter the Love Island Games. The Love Island Games is an all-star edition of the original show's format. It's set in Fiji and features an international all-star cast of islanders that have previously been on Love Island before. The contestants compete in a variety of newer, wackier, and weirder challenges in the hope of winning $100,000 and, finding love, of course. By featuring contestants that made Love Island the titan of reality TV that it once was, the Love Island Games is ITV2's answer to the dwindling ratings and their last opportunity for a renaissance in reality TV. We're going to just be discussing the series as a whole and its key storylines and best bits, how it fared against the other Love Island seasons and as a standalone all-star season, and finally, the future of Love Island, as well as just reality TV as a whole. So without further ado, let's get into it. This storyline happened in episode 1 and 2, so you really knew that the Love Island Games producers were not here to play. This storyline involved Islanders Selly and Johnny, who were on season 2 of Love Island USA, which took place in 2020. They were the runners-up from their season, and they were coupled up since day 2, and they continued their relationship outside of the villa until they decided to break up in what seems like a very messy, both public and private breakup. And since their breakup in 2020, i.e. 3 years ago, they haven't spoken. Selly from day 1 was a great addition to the Love Island Games cast, as she just came with good energy and amazing one-liners.
I stay ready, so I don't gotta get ready.
You asked a bad bitch and you're mad. Just say that. I'd be mad too if I lost me.
And Johnny, what can I say? This man gives me the ick like no man on reality TV has given me the ick before.
Disgusting!
Give Johnny his rightful place as a member of Destiny's Childish. If you know, you know. He was an absolute menace to my viewing experience, but at the same time, like, I understood that he was there to do what he did. Like, he caused drama, he stirred the pot. I can't really blame the Love Island producers for that, because sometimes you love to hate someone, you know? But basically this season, Selly entered the villa on day 1, and Johnny also entered that evening, but as a bombshell. Johnny entered on very unique terms, which has never happened in Love Island before, where basically him and his co-bombshell Meg and all the contestants were blindfolded, and they were able to kiss 2 of the contestants that they were like interested in. Johnny initially picks another USA Islander, Imani, to kiss, and then right after goes and kisses his ex, Selly. I just want to say on record right now that this man is one of the grossest kisses I have ever seen on Love Island, and that is saying something. Like, every time I see him kiss somebody, I like feel like I need to go take a shower after because I feel so violated. And just personally, I did kind of find it a little bit messed up that he chose to kiss Selly. Like, I understand why, because it was going to cause the most drama and continues their storyline from seasons past. But firstly, he called it like a good icebreaker when they hadn't spoken in 3 years. Also, Selly didn't know, Selly wasn't aware that her ex was the one kissing her. Like, obviously she consented to the situation, but did she consent to that? So for me, it almost feels like a bit manipulative / I don't want to say assaulty, but like a little bit, to kiss your ex when they don't know it's you. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. And let me know in the comments if you watched it and felt the same, because maybe it's not just me, but also tell me if I'm being dramatic, because that could be the case as well. Either way, once it's revealed that Johnny was the bombshell, Selly pulls him for a chat and voices exactly what I was thinking.
You literally handled that situation like a fucking child, let me tell you. So if you're gonna say we're gonna leave things on good terms and then run to fucking Instagram to go and talk shit because you can't handle shit like a grown fucking man and move the fuck on, I just can't even put into words how like shocking it is to me that you would think that our interactions after that would be cordial.
It is really great to see Selly stand up for herself, given that in her intro from when we first met her, she recalls watching her season back and being like, girl, you let everyone walk over you, and wishing that she stood up for herself more.
I think you knew the only way you could ever kiss me again was if I was blindfolded.
If you're not already turned off by my description of Johnny earlier, this storyline well and truly encapsulates Johnny on his villain shit. Jess is an islander from season 4 of Love Island Australia, which took place in 2022. And then we have Liberty from season 7 of Love Island UK that took place in 2022. And Liberty was one of the only contestants that I actually really enjoyed watching on her season.
And like, I'm here to stay. Slay. Anywhere, slay. And play.
Both Jess and Liberty have kind of a rocky start when coming into the villa, as initially Jess loses her man during a duel and so is kind of left in a couple that she doesn't like, and Liberty gets friend-zoned by her couple very early on. So when Johnny enters the villa, both of them decide to pursue him. But Jess, kind of out of nowhere, just starts getting increasingly mean and petty about Liberty's pursuit of Johnny, kind of chalking it up to the fact that Liberty's putting her pursuit of Johnny over their friendship, which Jess, from her introduction, was already kind of established as a fiery, jealous person. And so for me, it personally just felt like she was trying to paint this narrative of Liberty not being a girl's girl, for a lack of a better phrase, which I was just not having, because if you watch Liberty's season, that couldn't be farther from the truth. So Jess was already not in my good books for this reason. But Jess and Lib have a chat about it, but it seems resolved. At the next recoupling, Johnny chooses Jess, which if you watch the season, like, not only were the viewers shocked by, but even the Islanders, because it seemed like he was really feeling Lib more than Jess. This is just another example to me of how Johnny is just picking whatever will cause the most drama, which again, to a degree I'm here for, but when it comes to Johnny, it just seems like anything that would cause the most drama was at the expense of the girls in the villa and their feelings, and they were really used as collateral damage, which I'm not here for. So Jess and Johnny are coupled up, and the next challenge that they do is Snog, Marry, Pie, which is a Love Island canon event. It always delivers the drama. No matter how boring a season is, chuck Snog, Marry, Pie in and things will get heated. In response to another Islander snogging Johnny, Jess is fuming and decides to snog Johnny.
I think I need to mark my territory, Georgia.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
For the pie portion, Jess then pies Liberty, which no, we're not doing this. That absolutely fired me up. It's just petty because, as Lib mentioned in her confessional, they squashed their drama. So Jess bringing it up is just bringing it up in bad blood. So when it's Lib's turn to snog, marry, pie, my gosh, does my girl clap back.
I'm gonna pie this person because I feel like I was upfront and honest about my feelings all the way through. I haven't been fake with you. I've always kept it real, even though you broke my trust. And also, I'm just gonna let you know I'm not a walkover.
No, wait. Oh! And the walk away.
And the walk away.
And the walk away.
I'm no pushover.
How? I don't even need to put in your face like that. Like, just...
This was the moment Love Island Games won me over. This was such good reality TV and what reality TV is about. The beauty of All Stars is getting to see how the contestants have changed and grown from their previous season. And for Lib to pie Jess and say that she wasn't a pushover was really a moment for that. When it's Johnny's turn to snog, marry, pie, he snogs a new Islander that's come in, which shows you just how much of a waste man this man is, as well as also pieing his ex-girlfriend Selly, which again, waste man behavior.
Never mind, he's trash.
Later on, 3 new bombshells enter the villa, one of which is Courtney, who is a Love Island USA contestant from season 4 in 2022. This girl turns Johnny's head instantly, which his head was literally just already turned after an Islander who just left, the one he snogged. So this man is really, he's looking for anything, which he admits during a chat with Courtney.
I've been waiting for you to come here. Not even just you in particular, but someone that like has what you got going on. The fact that I'm really physically attracted to you.
This is while him and Jess are still coupled up and Jess is growing suspicious. You can really see how Johnny plays the 2 people that he is with. He's clearly had a lot of practice in being able to sweet talk one person while pursuing another.
I do like you though.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I actually do. That much of this. And it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's missing something.
It's actually diabolical. So at the recoupling, Courtney chooses Johnny to couple up with and reveals to the whole island what he said.
And told me that he was waiting for me to walk through the door.
Jess is rightfully fuming at this revelation, and with the whole villa rocked, she gives one of the spiciest speeches to ever come out of a recoupling.
I'd rather be coupled up with a good friend than coupled up with a fucking snake. Your true colors really showed, Johnny. Fuck you.
This will indeed go down in Love Island history. So Jess, even though you and I may not see eye to eye a lot of the time, you really did that. And it makes your whole stint on Love Island Games worth it. This next drama concerns Meg and Eyal from Love Island UK season 4, which aired in 2018. On this season, they were both actually coupled up until Meg then decided to recouple up with someone else. Meg, whether you loved her, whether you hated her, she was definitely one of the most entertaining contestants that Love Island has ever had. I also loved Eyal on his season, to the point where genuinely he's one of the only contestants that have come on Love Island where I've been like, call me Delulu, but I'm like, we could be friends. So both Meg and Eyal entered the villa as bombshells and therefore are coupled up with different people. During the Snog, Marry, Pie challenge, I told you it's the gift that keeps on giving, Meg pies Eyal as revenge for when he pied her in their season during the same challenge. And then Eyal, when it's his turn, goes and pies her back.
So for season 4, Love Island UK,
I'm so sorry.
Megs, I love you. It's water under a bridge, but come here.
It's what she deserves.
It's just an elite move to have both of these islanders feature on Love Island games. Like, whoever made that happen deserves a raise. So after the challenge, Meg and Eyal go and have a chat where Meg basically lays it on thick with Eyal.
I was too quick to pie you. When I saw the other girls kissing you, I was a little bit jealous. But I kind of wish you kissed me instead.
Interesting. I'm not gonna kiss you right now.
Bruh.
Like, I knew I liked Eyal from his season, but my gosh, like,
the growth?
He really has aged like a fine wine. Everyone knows about, obviously, the first pie that Eyal served Meg, but only a couple of people know about this second pie where he rejected her kiss. So, not too long after the challenge, the queen of Love Island, Maura Higgins herself, comes to host a challenge with the Islanders. It's a couples challenge, and it's a variation of a classic Love Island challenge of how well do you know your partner, but instead of generic kind of general knowledge questions, it's more to do with what's happening in Love Island games. So Maura asks the girls which of the Islanders their partner would leave on red, and Eyal says Meg. And in this moment, Maura, like the queen she is, coaxes out of him what happened between him and Meg.
When was the last time you pied Megan?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah, in the challenge.
Oh, you haven't pied her since then?
The reveal could not have been better. I love that even when she's not in the villa directly, Maura is still out here serving us the drama on a silver platter. This is a storyline that perfectly encapsulates why the All Stars format can be so great. So for this storyline to make sense, we have 3 different couples involved. We've got Selly and Eyal, who we've talked about separately. Then we've got Justine and Jack, who have been coupled up from day one. Justine was the winner of Love Island Season 2 USA, and she was in the competition alongside Selly. And Jack was from Season 4 of Love Island UK. I watched that season, but somebody tell me who this man is.
I mean, he could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Their biggest allies in the game are Selly and Eyal because Justine and Selly have been best friends since they were on their season together. The last couple we have is Imani and Ray, and they've been coupled up pretty much since day one, but have had a tumultuous road because they've been like split apart by other bombshells coming in, etc. But by this point in the season, they're not only boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're also the biggest threats to win the game as they've kind of won the most challenges both separately and together. Before the carnival challenge, everybody's kind of talking about strategy going in. Justine and Jack then have a private conversation where Justine, while she loves Ray and Ray is one of her biggest allies, she doesn't have a lot of confidence that Imani wouldn't vote her out given the chance. On the other side, while Ray is very confident about the alliance that they formed with the OG Islanders, Imani's not so sure as she rightfully notices that those 4 are a lot closer than they are with anyone else in the villa. The carnival challenge is set up where the Islanders play a bunch of different recognizable carnival games, and at the end of each carnival game, one couple is made vulnerable. During the second round of the carnival challenge, Imani deviates from the plan that all of the alliance have, even though Ray sticks to the plan. And this causes all of kind of the OG Islanders to give a bit of side eye. So then by the final game, Justine and Jack then decide that it is time to put a target on Imani Ray's back.
Oh, that was a wet one.
Selly and Eyal and another couple follow suit, which as a result makes Ray and Imani vulnerable to being dumped from the island. It kind of shocked everyone because this is the first noticeable sign of gameplay so far in the season. And that's why the carnival was just such a great challenge, as it really forced the Islanders to put their gameplay out and show their cards. After the carnival, things are tense and every couple gets to pick a stuffed animal after the game, and Maya Jama returns, who is the host of Love Island and the sexiest woman on the planet, but that's besides the point. Maya Jama reveals that inside each of the stuffed animals is a heart, and whoever has the golden heart, if they are a vulnerable couple, they'll be safe, and if they're a safe couple, they get to pick a couple to save. Lo and behold, Justine and Jack have the golden heart. While Justine is really struggling with the prospect of not saving Ray because he is one of her closest friends both inside and outside of the show, they do as a result save a different couple in order to make Ray and Imani vulnerable, as they are the biggest threats in the game. This really was like edge of your seat shocking.
Say it, bro.
Mitch and Zito.
Bullshit.
you're supposed to be my dog, my best friend in here, man. From day one, coming in here, you're supposed to have my back. And you let Jack convince you to just leave me out to dry. For some gameplay shit. When I'm your real friend.
Like, this man really felt slighted. It really brought that element that All Stars, even in Survivor, brings of how much is it just a game for other people versus, you know, real life connections and friendships that you're messing with, and like how far are you willing to go for money. It also was a choice that reverberated onto the final. In the penultimate episode of Love Island, the dumped islanders actually return and are the people that get to vote for which two of the three couples will join Justine and Jack in the Love Island final.
No one's smiling, bro.
Wow. Welcome back, everyone, to the villa.
The dumped islanders, now labeled the Love Island jury, have actually been watching the series this whole time. So how it worked was each juror was able to cast a vote for one of the three couples, and the two couples with the most votes would go on to the final. The speeches some of these islanders made, like, they really did not hold back. But the speeches were almost so spicy that I feel like I missed something, because 4 of the boys vote for Johnny and Aurelia for being real and genuine. Just another reason to side-eye the Love Island men for real. And then a few people even called out Selly and Yao.
One thing I hate in this world are actors. And Selly and Yao, you guys are actors. And that's why, fuck you guys.
The only reason I'm here right now, I just want to make this apparent as well, is because of EL. Like I said, it's not because I feel like this is real, I don't, but I want to stand by my friend.
Which again came as a shock to me because I just didn't get that vibe at all. A lot of the islanders felt that Jack was being disingenuous.
Justine, if you have a chance, take the money.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
And finally, Ray has his day.
Round of applause to Justine and Jack, man. Round of applause to y'all. The biggest manipulators of the game.
And look at my back. Stab.
And this is why I love a jury format, because it really forces the islanders who, you know, have had an influence in how these people have been dumped from the villa. It really makes them have to confront that choice and the fact that their actions do have consequences, which just really delivers some top tier drama for the audience. So before we dive into how the season performed as a whole, I'm just going to go through some quick highlights of scenes that I have to mention if I'm going to talk about this season, because they're just too good to miss out. So when bombshell Aurelia from Germany heads into the villa, Johnny's head is once again turned. This man's head is on a swivel at this point. And instead of communicating with Courtney about his feelings towards Aurelia and wanting to pursue them, he instead just decides to make out with and snog Aurelia and not tell Courtney.
Well, just as I thought. Trash.
So when Courtney finds out from Jess, she confronts Johnny and delivers this absolute banger.
Ew, I'm so grossed out. Like, I feel like so disrespected, and I feel like you're like very insecure. And like, the fact of you sneaking around behind my back and not being honest with me, it like gives like small dick energy. On the topic of Courtney, Sis really delivered when it came to reading people for their actions throughout the season. So during the Carnival Challenge in the first round, Imani makes Courtney and her couple Scott vulnerable, which Courtney really takes to heart considering Imani did tell Courtney that she had her back. So Courtney does not let her get away with this. You're head to toe in my clothes and lied to my face and fucked me over.
Oh, shit.
Oh, honey.
Girl, security.
So I don't know how this started, but there seemed to be like an inside joke in the villa that if somebody's couple was under threat of like being taken or pursued, there was like this ongoing joke that the rest of the islanders would be like, bye.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Justine! Not another word! Bye, Jack! Bye, Jack! Bye, Jack! Bye, Jack!
But Mike from Love Island UK really like took this to the max. So in his duel with Jack, where they're both fighting for who's going to stay in the competition, there's a lot of shit talk happening, and as a result, Mike retaliates.
Let's go. The only one you're gonna get. I know you're scared. The only one you're gonna get. I know you're scared. The only one you're gonna get. Now I'm in your head. That's why you're talking. Let's go.
Where, big bad?
Let's go. Where? Hey, Justine, say goodbye.
Oh my God!
Overall, with this season of Love Island, the producers really stepped up their game, which really led to, for me, Love Island Games being a standout season and definitely one of the best seasons of Love Island. I loved how they brought back some of the old classic challenges that never failed to deliver drama, while also having new challenges that really did deliver the drama and were like even bigger and better. In this format of the Love Island Games, there was also the introduction of duels, which was basically when different islanders would go head to head in order to fight for their position in the competition, and if they lost, they would leave, which I think was great because it really raised the stakes of every challenge. And after watching the Physical 100 as well, which was a Korean reality TV show that I think came out last year, it really made me realize that you can't underestimate the beauty of like just classic primal two people going head to head in like a physical battle. I also really loved the addition of the winners of the challenges becoming power couples where they get special advantages, as it really brought a Survivor-esque level of gameplay to Love Island, which is like, it's combining my two favorite things. Which brings me to another addition that again was definitely taken out of the Survivor playbook that I enjoyed, and that was the Love Island jury. As we talked about earlier, having the contestant return to decide the very contestant's fate that probably is the reason that they left is just great because it rehashes old drama and gives them a chance to say their piece and tie up that storyline. Like, the claws really came out with the Love Island jury and we love to see it. And lastly, can we just have a moment for the cast? Love Island would really be nothing without the cast that they choose. For Love Island Games, of course it was going to be great considering it's all previous contestants. All of them really put their pussies into it and like stepped up and gave it everything. In terms of the gripes I had with this season, I really would have loved to see more dates to play into that love part of Love Island. The only date we got to see was Johnny and Courtney's, which is just absolutely criminal. Secondly, this is more of a deeper one, but the bisexual representation with Meg, Kira, and Courtney was definitely a step up and an improvement to how Love Island normally operate. However, I do think it's really important to highlight the way in which Love Island represents bisexual people, but specifically women, and how it's just to cater for male fantasies and the fetishization of bisexual women by perpetuating that stereotype of hypersexualized sapphic relationships. For example, in this season, whenever the girls kissed each other, whether it was actually for a connection or just because it was like part of the fun and the games of Love Island, I just noticed with the way it was edited, it was done to be like promiscuous and salacious. The reactions almost always focused on the men's reactions.
Megan.
Whereas we never see any of the guy contestants kissing each other on camera. And even if we did see the men kiss on camera, it would definitely not get the same edit. I hope you know what I'm trying to say, but I just felt it important to address that, as Love Island really does a disservice when trying to portray accurate and positive bisexual representation. Next, I thought the final 6 bombshells, firstly, it's just a lot of bombshells. Like, I think it's way too many to create a storyline around them, specifically with such a short time frame, which means that as the audience, we don't get to know them or get invested in their story. Like, literally, I don't even remember half of their names. And I think it was just for shock value to say that they've never had that many bombshells enter at the same time. 2, it just felt like it happened too late. And 3, if you're going to introduce that many islanders that late, they had better be the cream of the crop to deserve a place in that final. Because 2 of the bombshells that arrived at this time made it to the final, and honestly, it was just unsatisfying. Speaking of the final duels where there were 2 rounds were just, for me, super underwhelming and anticlimactic, with the first round being a repeat of a previous duel format we'd seen, which you can see that in one of 2 ways. You can either see it as a fun callback and tying up the season, or you can see it the way I did, which was lazy. And the second duel was basically the Islanders having to put as many money bags as they could on their home base in 5 minutes, and it was just far too chaotic. This duel is supposed to be what this entire season is working towards. My eyes just didn't even know where to look because the lack of structure just meant that it was pure mess. And I think that was a big miss, given that was the final duel. And lastly, with any season of Love Island, there's always the age-old question of, are you here for love or are you here for money? As the seasons have progressed, it's kind of more and more bid for the money and less for the love part. And obviously this season also faced the same question, as this season was less than 3 weeks, which normally Love Island is 2 months, so the love part makes more sense because it's over a longer time. And obviously the cash prize is doubled. Even that being the case and that strategy should have played more of a role, I feel like they could have done a lot more to incentivize the islanders to either form alliances or stab each other in the back. The only alliance there really was Jack, Justine, Selly, and Eyal, and there wasn't so much game playing as I think there could have been. Having said that though, understanding that this is Love Island and not Survivor, maybe I'm just trying to have too much of a good thing. Overall for me, this was a stellar season of Love Island, and in my eyes, a great way to say goodbye. Love Island Games for me was really a season that was the best bookend to a show that was such a pop culture moment. But if we're being real, is now a relic of its time. It's now spawned so many versions that the market is so oversaturated. And Love Island itself hasn't really evolved its format over time to improve its representation, which is now a really important component of what a lot of viewers watch and what they want to see. While this Love Island Games season did improve upon the original Love Island format, I don't think this is something that they're going to be able to replicate again. Just having more seasons with returning islanders, it's kind of giving jobless. This is especially the case as with shows like Survivor, when people return, you're kind of returning with more of a knowledge of how to play the game and more knowledge of how to succeed in challenges. Whereas in Love Island, that doesn't really work because it's a dating show. So the conclusion I want to leave you with is this. I think the sun is soon going to be setting on reality TV as we know it. After watching Looking for Lewis's video on the rise and fall of the X Factor, the beauty of these early reality TV shows was seeing everyday people like your local barber from Essex or the beautician from Newcastle fall in love and go on a journey with themselves and self-improvement, but also with their significant other. But as time has gone on, the people who have been cast in these shows went from being your local sandwich maker or sales rep to models, semi-pro footballers, and budding influencers, which really tanked the viewing experience as the contestants just came off as less authentic and genuine. And now with social media, if you want to watch everyday people gain influence and get invested in their relationships with their significant others or friends or family, you need only open your Instagram or TikTok and start scrolling. There's such a big variety of people you can support. And while I think there always will be some kind of place for reality TV, as I think we as people love the endearing and also cringe nature of watching people get to know each other and either fall in love or fall apart, I wouldn't be surprised if Love Island soon follows X Factor's footsteps. Formats of dating shows in particular are just growing tired now, because after a couple of seasons, it's just rehashing the same format, especially when the cast transitions from people who are hopeful singles looking for love to desperate influencers looking for fame. And unfortunately, I think Love Island has reached that point, which is why, while I loved Love Island Games, I think this will be the last season of Love Island that I'll watch. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the Love Island Games season. I definitely do want to do more videos about reality TV, as it is definitely a major guilty pleasure of mine. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And let me know your thoughts on this season, what you thought of Love Island Games, how you think it fares against other seasons of Love Island, and what you think the future of reality TV is going to be. If you also like this video, please give it a like, as it helps me out a lot. And if you want to join the family, feel free to subscribe. I could be your new local consultant from Sydney that you decide to make famous. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome to my island, bitch.